Hey, what's up, everybody? It is another week and another rain out last week, but man, the sun is shining. It's going to be a great week of racing right here in North Texas. I'm Will Riggs. Lance Plant coming up in just a minute. We're going to give you the full race on schedule coming up here in just a little bit. We'll talk about, we'll have Tom, the owner and promoter of Southern Raceway down in Milton, Florida. He's going to be joining the show, so we're going to talk to him about some good racing they got going on down in Florida. We're also going to be, telling some tall tales and short stories with you tonight, so strap on your seatbelts, kick back, relax. Will Riggs and Lance Plant on the way because it's time to go racing in the Dirt Talk Nation.
There from the start by his side, and through all the scars and pain he'd hide. He'd work extra hours to make ends meet, dragging to the shop flat dead on his feet. She never dreamed it would be this hard, but nothing comes between a man and his racing car. She said we're gonna be a mile down a dead-end street. When you know tracks like that, you can never be beat. You lose the love for when time flies. Cries and grease stains in his eyes. There's no other love between a road and a tire. Nothing comes between a man and his racing car.
Ow, love that intro music, man. Me and my boy Lance Plant back for you another week at Dirt Talk Nation. If you're wondering what that song is, it is called Racing Car by my good buddy Kenneth Waters and the Kenneth Waters Band. So you guys go find them on Spotify and all this stuff. You can find that on Spotify and YouTube. And actually, I produced a music video for it. And if you race at RPM, you may be in the music video and you don't even know. We'll share the link out here after the show. Lance, back from sunny Florida, man. Looks like you got your tan, got your sun's out, guns out going on over there. What's happening?
Man, back to reality.
Yeah. Womp,
Yeah.
womp, womp.
Womp. Yeah, spent a whole week in Florida. It was fun, but back to reality this week. And man, sun's out. Does that mean we get to race this weekend?
Yes, thank Jesus. Man, it's been like a month since we've been able to race at RPM, man. It's like every week freaking rains out, but man, we got some cool stuff coming up this weekend that I'm actually very, very excited about. Hold on, we'll do this one first. Well, actually, before we start hawking gear, let me present share my screen or whatever it shows here. Is it this one? No, is it this one? No, is it this? Hell, I don't know. Oh, there it is. Boom. Ba-dow. Let's show that. There it is. The Johnny Suggs Classic coming up this Saturday night, 10th annual. You got the ASCS Elite non-wing sprint cars and the limited modifieds, factory stocks, A-class micros, and the modifieds. And you, my man, they're going to be racing.
I will be there. I will. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So,
it's been a couple years.
What's been the preparation for you since you got home to get the car ready?
It's been ready with all this rain and stuff. You know, we raced 3 weeks ago at Rocket, and we were literally lining up to go on the track for our feature, and it started raining. Well, come home, watched it, and it's been sitting right here ready to go ever since. So I ain't had to do anything.
Man, I'm so sick of it. I promise you, I'm like crazy sick of the rain, man. It's been horrible, but we're gonna have some good race weather this weekend, and I'm happy about that. I'm not gonna lie. But let's do this, man. Let's hawk our gear. First of all, I want to thank our good friends at Black Acid Racing Apparel. They got our cool shop up for us right here with the Dirt Talk Nation logo. You can get tank tops, long sleeves sweatshirts, hoodies, regular old t-shirts. If you work on cars, just get the black, man. Don't worry about these yellows and blue. They got some cool. They look really cool. Like if you want to, this is your dress t-shirt. You know what I'm talking about, Lance? That your good t-shirt that you like to wear everywhere, where you don't have to. Yeah. It feels like it looks nice. It looks nice, but it's like I like my Jesus to have a tuxedo t-shirt because I want him to be like cool like Jesus, but I want him to party too. You know what I mean? Because I like
yeah. I don't even own a white shirt. All my stuff's black.
Mine are all like black or dark blues. I have a couple of red shirts, but for the most part, look, you got some cool colors to go through here.
Yeah.
You guys go on there, and we'll drop that link in here as well for you guys. Here, if I come do it right now. Look at this, bam! That's what I love about this using StreamYard. I can just go bam right there in the comments, and you guys can get straight to the link right there, so you guys can check that out. And you guys can. Get straight to the link right there. Why am I echoing? Do you hear me? Am I echoing to you?
No, I was me. Sorry, my bad.
That was you. What are you doing over there?
Seeing if there's any comments. Seeing if there's any fan,
I got the comments. The only one we have so far is my own beautiful wife, who's making sure that we're not echoing. That we're not echoing. So you can always just take your phone and then mute it. See, you do that. It's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
Mute it while it's happening, and but we pop that on in there so that people can see the Black Acid Racing Apparel logo, and so this weekend it's going to be a lot of racing. So before we get to anything else, I'll tell you. So about 6 weeks ago, I was driving to cover some softball action over in Roy City, and I was like, everybody's passed by the Roy City Buc-ee's over there, and I'm passing in front of it, and I'm in the right lane, which is a turn only lane. It's a turn only lane. I don't know what greasy means, so you may have to explain that one. Says sounds greasy, so I'm not sure what that means. So, we can go in here and change a bunch of things. I don't know what that means. Oh, she says sounds great. She said, "Oops." I was like, "What is greasy?" I'm like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. So anyway, so I'm in the right lane, which is a turn only lane in front of Buc-ee's, and this dude decided he just wanted to be in my lane, so he pulled right in front of me and just freaking demolished. From I was going 50, which is a speed limit on the service road, and literally his truck went. Oh, the tire of his truck went over my hood. Literally from the left front door all the way to the front, just destroyed. Broke the windshield, everything. Two front, like he destroyed the left front wheel and then banged the other one into the curb. So it was foobar, right? I got it to my niece's house, who thankfully she lives right behind there, and. Of course, we had to wait for the police report and all that jazz to come out. And the police report says, dude pulled in front of me. So clearly his problem. But I want to give a huge shout out to Darren and the crew at Caliber Collision over in Rockwall, because my truck looks beautiful. They called me literally every other day to tell me where they were with my car. They got it approved. And I mean, they worked really hard to make sure I got my truck back looking as good as new. And it does. It looks beautiful. The only problem is that I didn't have any front tires. I had like a spares on the front. And because the two that came on it, because it's 2012, so they are discontinued. So I'm like, well, crap. So I call up our friends at Lone Star Accessories, who are also racers, and they're like, man, they can't find them. So I went over there, and Jeff Oster, and let me just do this right here. I'm gonna just show off these guys right here, Lone Star Accessories. Okay. Yeah. So what they do is they specialize in upgrades and stuff like that. So whenever you go in, or people go in to upgrade the wheels and tires, well, what do they do with them? Sometimes they just say, hey, we'll knock this amount off if we just keep the wheels and tires. Yeah. So Jeff cut me a great deal. I went from chrome to black wheels on my silver pickup. It's got the black bed cover. It looks super sharp now, thanks to my friends at Lone Star Accessories. So Jeff, if you guys see this and you're all watching, if y'all want to sponsor the show,
come on board.
Hit me up, man. We're more than welcome, man. We're gonna get that done, and we hope that everybody starts jumping on board. I gotta make a phone call on tomorrow, and I started thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, crap. And it was about 5:20, so I was like, well, I'll do it tomorrow. It's outside of business hours, if you know what I'm saying. If you pick it up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. Man, it's been a hectic 2 weeks anyways. Gone on vacation. And, 2 weeks ago, we had a storm. We didn't have any power for a week. So, man, things are starting to smooth out. Calm down.
Well, especially, I'm going to be on vacation next week. So next week when I do this thing, it's going to be from probably beside my brother's pool, because he's going out of town with his family to Mexico. So we're going to his house to stay. He's got the pool and everything. He lives in Gulf Breeze. And so we're going to freaking go have a good time and enjoy Pensacola Beach and enjoy some cocktails on the beach. And then, I already got my setup bagged up over there so we can make sure that we don't miss a show next week. And we'll have former Devils Bowl Speedway flagman Wes Goodwin will be on the show next week. We're also talking to a couple of dirt tracks and promoters about getting on the show next week as well. We're going to have Tom on here in just a little bit from Southern Raceway in Milton, Florida. Milton, Florida is just outside Pensacola. It's about 30 minutes. About 30 minutes northeast of Pensacola. And I know where that's at because back when I was a traveling rock star. Okay. Looks like, all right. So he just sent me a message saying he's driving. He's going to grab his, it'll be about 15 minutes. He's going to try on his iPad because he couldn't do it on his phone. He probably has an Android or something.
Milton's also home. You might not know this, but a lot of dirt track people do know this. Home of Hunt the Front, Joseph and Jonathan Joyner and their brothers, and they have a big YouTube channel. I try to get them on. We're waiting. They're on the road, but their hometown is Milton, so it'd be huge to get them on, guys, and have them on.
Well, I know where it's at. I know where the town is because when I was once a traveling rock star, we played a big thing there. They call it the Bands on the Blackwater. And we played a show there in Milton, Florida. And we actually kind of built our vacation around that week. So like the week before, the Sunday before is like Memorial Day weekend a couple of years ago. Yeah. And the Sunday before we were in Kingston, Oklahoma, playing on Lake Texoma. And then we got up, me and Katie and the girls got up and went down to New Orleans, where we stayed a couple days in New Orleans down in the French Quarter, because the girls had never been. They were like, "This is the greatest thing ever!" And I got shit faced, dude. It was crazy. Matter of fact, the girls went outside to cool off, and they came in. I was on stage singing with the band, bro. They were like, "What is happening right now?"
I heard some good stories from my boss today about you traveling.
Have you ever been to New Orleans?
I've never actually been. I've been through New Orleans, but never stopped.
I'm gonna just tell you this: you need to find you a babysitter. Don't go there in the middle of summer, dude. It fucking sucks. The first time I ever went was Katie and I's anniversary 9 years ago.
Yeah,
dude, it was in the middle of July. It was miserable during the day, dude. It was like 95 with like 95% humidity, man. It was like no matter what you wore, dude, everything had to be dry fit, and even then it was soaking wet. Wow. But with that said, it's actually a pretty cool city. So okay, so like it's supposed to be the most haunted city in the country, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
And every vampire story revolves around where? Freaking New Orleans, right?
New Orleans, right.
So we were out during the day, and this fucking kid walks up. And he looks emo as shit with his fucking steampunk hat on with the glasses on the top. And he's like, "If y'all meet me back here at 10:30 tonight, I'll take you on a haunted tour." And I'm like, I am not trying to be anybody's dinner, bro.
Yeah, we went on a haunted tour in Charleston, South Carolina, and it gets spooky
cool.
at night.
Dude, there are some cool ones. We did actually go on a guided tour that you paid for.
Right.
And learned a lot of cool stuff, right? But we didn't make it all the way through. And I'm going to tell you why. My wife, who's probably watching the show from the other room, and you'll know if she's watching, she may come throw something at me. She is the clumsiest woman I know. And I'm going to tell you, she's the most clumsy woman that I know. And here's how I know this, because she will randomly fall for no reason whatsoever. And we're walking through the French Quarter on this tour, and all of a sudden I hear and I was like, what the fuck? I turn around, there she is on the middle of the street. So the little trolley rails that you would see the way they have them in downtown or down in the French Quarter as well.
Well,
evidently we'd have been drinking a little bit. She stepped on it and her foot slid off of it, and she twisted her ankle, and boom, down she went. Wow. And that was into the tour for that. So thankfully they have these bicycle, what do they call them? The bicycle taxis.
Yeah.
Pedo taxis or
pedo
taxis. No, thank you. No, thank you.
No, not that kind. Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like a truck and it has like a seat on the back.
Yeah. So they picked us up and drove us from the French Quarter, and like where the French Quarter ends, and is that Canal Street, and we were actually literally at the hotel right across. We stayed at the Marriott AC, which is literally right after you pass over that. So he pedaled us back, and we get her upstairs, and always a good time. I see Tom has actually jumped on. He's actually driving right now, so we're gonna jump on. Let's take a quick break. Hear from our friends at Race On and East Texas Towers, who we are so thankful for supporting our show. And then we're gonna bring Tom on next, right here on the Dirt Talk Nation. Back here on the Dirt Talk Nation. Joining us now, it's Tom Lowry from Southern Raceway down in Milton. Tom, what's happening, Jackson?
On the phone, I know the reception's sketchy, but I'm on the way home.
On the way home, man. Yes. So I'm glad you could jump on with us. And it's funny because I texted you earlier. We were talking about where Milton is, and I was like, I know where Milton is because my band played the Bands on the Blackwater a couple of years ago. And so we've been there. It's only a hop, skip, and a jump from Pensacola, which is good. And you guys race on like a lot of different days of the week sometimes.
We do. We one of them tracks we have to fight with the county a little bit, but we can race on Friday, Saturday, and then Sundays on holiday weekends.
Man, I tell you what, you're not alone in the fight with counties, man. I feel like every racetrack I've ever worked at is always in a fight with some authority figure with some city or county, and it's a pain in the fucking ass, dude. We're trying to just have fun and race and make some money and have a good time, and then the county wants to piss all over our post toasties.
Yeah, for sure.
All these people had to pass our racetrack in order to buy the house down the road. I mean, I don't get it. Why buy a house if you don't want to be or buy a racetrack?
Sounds like the devil.
Exactly.
Well, at the Devil's Bowl Speedway over in Mesquite, it used to be out there all by itself. Wasn't a damn thing anywhere. And now, literally, from Devil's Bowl Speedway, if you drive a quarter of a mile, there are subdivisions on both sides of the highway. And all those people did was bitch. Oh, the racing's so loud. Bro, that speedway's been there for 50 years. Why would you build your house right next to it?
Exactly.
Yeah, we under a curfew. They got us over there at 11:30. Unless I'll put it right out there, you need to be done racing by 11:30 anyway. But I don't like it. You never know what emergency will come up. But and that's
racing.
That's right.
Like, you never know. You might have something bad happen on the track that delays the entire show. Like, I mean, having a curfew is dumb.
It's tough. A 15-minute rain shower will make your show 2 hours longer. We all know that.
Yeah. So you guys, so Saturday night you got your Father's Day special going on. With son or daughter must be present with their dads. So they need to take their dads out to the racetrack. That's the biggest point we're talking about, is getting the families out there, right?
Absolutely. And hey, Dad can even jump in his truck and do a lap if he wants, because we got our spectator dirt tracks. We line up 2 guys on the back stretch, and we let them rip a lap. And we do like bracket racing, 16 of them. Yeah. Top guy wins $500 or $300. I'm sorry.
I want to do that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Bring your passenger car, put a helmet on. Come on, there we.
My wife my wife would probably love to do that. She used to race competition kart, And we always laugh because she has a Ford Explorer XLT, but it's got twin turbos on it, right? And she always calls it a double turbo, and then she goes, "It'll shit and get." So we maybe get that around the track, down there. See what she does that down there.
Yeah.
We had
Man,
one of those
that's
in
cool.
We had one of those in last year. A Dodge truck just barely beat him, but the guy had a lot of racing experience driving the Dodge. But yeah, they are quick.
So what are the Southern Spectator drags? Is that what we're talking about? Where they get to line up?
That's it. Just line them up. Like I said, we do it on a backstretch. The most dangerous place to put a spectator in a passenger car is the front straightaway. So we start them on the back straightaway. Hopefully they got too much speed going into turn 3. And if they can navigate turn 4, then it's pretty wide open. It's a track between 1 and 2, and there's no wall on the backstretch. So we feel like that's why we start them on the back.
Yeah.
So how long y'all been doing that? I want to do it. Like I think that essentially one day what's going to have to happen is me and Lance are going to have to take the show on the road and start going to different tracks and doing this show. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You got to stop racing first, Lance.
No, I just bring the race car with me. Well, hey, we can go to Southern. We'll go. Yeah, they run modifieds there.
That's it. What kind of modified you run?
It's a USRA sanctioned modified.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll adjust rules one night if we have to. We're primarily IMCA cars, but hey, we'll make an adjustment if we need to.
So this week you also have late models, IMCA, pure stocks, vintage, stingers, and bombers. What is a stinger?
4-cylinder buzz cars. I think every track calls them something different.
I think they call them tuners around here. Is that what they call tuners?
Cars?
Yeah.
Those front wheel drive bits.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, they race us down in Hard, Texas, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool stuff. So
it's a good entry level class, that tuner class. It's pretty inexpensive. You got young kids in there, and it's a pretty good class to start in.
There's probably 10 racers in the classes above them that started in those cars. Got a 604 racer that's very accomplished. Started off with those guys. So it's good to learn the rules and ins and outs and how to do things, even though they don't handle like a car. But
no.
Anyway, I don't know if either one of you guys have ever drove one, but they don't ride like a modified or anything else.
Yeah.
I can barely walk, so no racing for me.
We've over here we've sort of mashed our bombers with you can run a metric car or a Crown Vic, and Crown Vics seem to be how do we say it? They're heavier. We allow them a little more than we do. A little bit more predominant. But just it's a good match so far. We'll run 15 or 18 each week.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We had a few tracks try to start the Crown Vic class, and I think Rocket Raceway Park up in Paris, north of here, and they tried it a few times, and it didn't work out too well. And but I think it's bigger, definitely in Florida. With Cletus McFarland, he's real big into the Crown Vics, and he makes it really successful, and he's really pushed it a lot to race the Crown Vic. I think it's a good start to starting a Crown Vic.
Oh yeah, we had and some of our local and I don't know, they're pretty big internet deal. Hunt the Front. Have you followed them or heard them very much?
Oh yeah,
we just talked about them actually before.
And the two. Oh, did I? Okay. They anyway, we did a race in January, and the two of them were in some Crown Vics and had a good time.
Yeah.
Both of them left. They left with a smile on their face, and they didn't win any money, but they had a blast. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Joseph or Joshua on or Jonathan. Try to get one of them on the show, and they've been so busy racing. I know they're up north and traveling, but I'm trying to get them on here in the future.
Well, those guys, I have wanted to choke them and run them off, because if you've motored for 10 years, you get into it with your drivers sometimes.
Sometimes,
They've gotten bigger, and we're in a really great way right now, and they're doing great, and I'm proud for them. But boy, have we! I could tell you some stories with them guys.
Woo. I bet.
But they're a good group. They really put their heart into it. And they picked up that Kubota sponsorship, and I hope it kind of elevates them up there pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure it puts Southern Raceway on the map too, with them growing and having such a following. And I'm sure when they show up there, you get a few more fans as well.
They do. Jesse Ennerkin, he's one of the main characters. He races with us fairly regular. He's second in points in late models right now. But I don't think he'll be there this week, because they're on that big Midwest swing right now.
Yeah, they're at the Hell Tour up there in Illinois. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we need to do, Lance. Get some mega sponsors, and we'll just travel all around. You can race, but we'll do a show live at literally every racetrack.
That'd be
Sounds
cool.
like, dude, hell yes.
Yeah.
That would be so much fun. Just be like, hey, every week, this week we're going to be in whatever, and just like do a summer tour. I mean, you work for the school district, so it's not like your summers are just bogged down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'd love to be up there in Illinois right now. It's a little cooler on that Hell Tour. And they're racing every day. It's starting today or tomorrow, and they're racing for 2 weeks straight or something like that. It's pretty awesome.
So one of the things we were looking at, Tom, because of course I'm wearing a Race On hat and T-shirt, because our track is on Race On, and I work for Race On as a part-time gig as well. And I started looking through what all is going on the Race On calendar around Texas and Louisiana and stuff this weekend. And it seems like everybody has a specialty race going on, right? Like we have a memorial race, we have the Comp Cam Super Dirt Series going on at another track. We have Outlaw Modifieds at another track, non-wing sprint cars at another track, mechanic races at one, and stuff like that. What are some of the big like specialty races that you guys have over at Southern Raceway? And for those of you watching, what is your favorite specialty race to see at the racetrack?
I think one of them that gives me the most pride, and it rained out this last year. We do a week before Memorial Day, we do a big sprint car race with the USCS guys, and we do free military admission, which this is a big military area.
Yes,
and
it is.
I don't know, it kind of fills me with pride. We do a special thing at intermission. We sing the fight song for each branch of the military, and it always makes me feel good to be a part of that and watch that. Our biggest time of the year down here, and I hate to say it, I don't know if it's the hot weather or what it is, but we do pretty well between February and April. And we had scheduled this year between the third week in January to the first weekend in March. We had something every weekend. And a lot of it gears around speed weeks, because a lot of cars do come to Florida. Even though we're out of the loop a little bit, there's still, when the sprint cars come to our speed weeks, we'll have 16 or 18. They've been up to 30. There's been guys off the West Coast that have won that deal. So
Now we're sharing out this weekend's the weekend stuff. It's $15 general admission, seniors and military $12, 6 to 17, $5, and 5 and under free. Gates open at 4. Drivers meeting at 6. Racing starts at 7. We always get a good kick out of. I don't know if you've ever seen the guy, the infield tractor tire, Billy Mizell. I think he's going to be on the show next week, Lance. He's going to be talking about his Australia trip. They did a 100 lapper in Australia. And it was a crazy thing. And he's got all kinds of stuff, side videos that he's doing, and Race On went with them and to document the whole thing. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But super cool stuff here. And I saw a meme the other day where it said where they did. Essentially, was it as a guy was going to sleep, and he's like, after hearing the same drivers meeting every week since I started racing 15 years ago.
I've seen that one.
In the drivers meeting, what are the big points that you always go over, or your race director goes over every single week, and you feel like no matter how many times you say it, you're like, somebody's gonna fuck this up?
Yeah.
Oh hell yes. There's I have the notes on my phone. I pull them up and read from them, so I don't forget to tell them the same thing they hear each and every week. And to me, the starting box, guys, you can't start before here. You got to start by here. And sometime every week, somebody screws it up. Then they want to bitch because they got moved back a row. You was told at the driver's meeting, this is your warning. We don't give a warning on the racetrack. The warning comes when you go back. It's too late then.
Yeah.
But every week you can tell them the same thing, and it's funny. A lot of them don't bother coming and complaining, but the ones that do, our first question was, you at the driver's meeting?
Well, yeah. Well, damn it, I told you like 3 times in a driver's meeting. So what are you bitching about?
Right.
We're halfway through the season. I've said this same thing 18 times.
I always love. So one of my favorite absolute, and it's honestly one of my favorite rules ever for any racetrack is at the racetrack I work at. If you spin yourself out twice, you're off the track. You're done.
You're done.
Yeah. You're done. And don't bitch and piss and moan and yell at the freaking flagman when he tells you to get your ass off the track. Like that happens every single week. Every week I see somebody mad. I'm like, because I will announce it. That's a second solo caution, and he should be done for the evening. And he'll get mad and he'll pull up, and then Wes, who's on next week, he'll roll over on his 4-wheeler and be like, "Get out of here!" And he's all mad about it, and they want to spin the tires. And
it's a rule. I mean,
and I'm like, that's the rule. I guarantee, and that's why I talk. That's why we bring up the freaking the driver's meeting, because I guarantee you, in that driver's meeting, that rule is stated every time, every week,
every time.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always fun, man. When it's look, so I always like, is it just our track? Clearly, it is not. Clearly, it's not just our track.
New driver come to me complaining one night. He said, "How am I supposed to learn?" I said, "Rent the track." I said, "Just call me. I'll set it up. You can come out here Sunday and $100 an hour and spin as many times as you want." But during the races, you don't lose the respect from the officials, your competitors, and the fans if I sit there and let you spin repeatedly 2 times as plenty.
Yeah.
That's my little speech to them when they come to me about it.
And then it's like, hey man, look, we have a curfew. First of all, we're trying to get the races done. Second of all, third of all, fans don't want to see you sit here and just caution lap after caution lap after caution lap after caution, because the domino effect of one caution is then now we have to go with the scores. Hey, who was where? Okay. Now let me radio down to all the drivers. You're in this position, such. By the time that you've done this, it's 2 or 3 laps already down. Then you got to get them lined up. Then you got to get them ready to go, and then you have to start racing. So 5, 6, 7 laps are down. And I don't know. Are you on the radio during races, Tom?
Yes, I listen. I let my officials run it, and I only intervene if I see something's done wrong. But yeah, I listen.
So our race director is literally 4 feet from me. Thankfully, there's a door and a wall there now, because he'll be like, he will tell you twice. On the 3rd time, it's not nice. It's not nice at all.
No.
At all. Like you may hear multiple F-bombs and you're a stupid MFer about 3 times if he has to repeat it more than twice, man. It's always fun to see how all that happens. And how did you get into promoting racing?
Sort of like Chinese torture. It was a 3-pronged deal. Three people owned a piece of this track, and I bought 1/3. And then I wound up buying a 2/3. In other words, I got so far in I couldn't get out. Now this August will be the 10th year, starts the 10th year that I've been there. And this thing has put me through the paces, I promise you. There's no school you can go to learn.
I think we lost you. I think we lost the audio. There it is.
It's interesting. Yep. Somebody tried to call me, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all good. Go ahead. We lost you. This is your 10th year.
Yeah, 10th year. Anyway, so it's like every promoter, and I tell promoters all the time, I feel like, you're never, and I've seen it so many times, you're never a good promoter until you're gone. And then everybody tells the next promoter how you used to do it.
Yeah.
You see it so many times, especially for a promoter that's been around for several years.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I don't know. There's not a lot you can come to me and bullshit me on. I mean, you know, after this many years, you just know, what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
it's this is what I've learned about the racing community. I got in the racing community back in 2017. This is what I know about it. No matter what, everybody's not going to be happy. Somebody's going to be pissy every single race.
Time.
Every time.
Yeah, it's going to be track conditions. It's going to be, the pay or what time you get. I mean, there's always going to be something. You're never going to make everybody.
There's going to be somebody bitching about something. And I will tell you this: at RPM, where I work in Crandall, Texas, the track is in immaculate condition when the weather's right. So like right now, like we had rain for 8 straight weeks. The track, I guarantee the track Saturday night will be in pristine condition because nobody's raced on it. It's been tilled and worked every single day that the sun has been out. And so by the time we get to Saturday, it's gonna be great racing. I'm excited to finally. We've raced out. What is it? 4 straight weeks.
4 straight weeks.
Yep. Jesus, it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
And I'm sure Florida gets a lot of rain, and I'm sure they have to deal with weather all the time with Florida.
Yeah, it's this week's dry and hot. I mean, y'all in Texas, I ain't gonna talk to you about hot, but it's 93 to 96 every day this week and dry.
Yeah,
So
same
it's,
here.
Yeah, it's the same here.
That's what I was doing at the racetrack, making sure we're keeping water in it. We water it, get it good and wet going into the evening, let it sit there and soak, and then let it just stay there. And next morning, we keep trying to wet it and keep it wet during the week. And then it's easy to work on Saturday.
So, dang, I just forgot what the hell I was going to say.
And Milton, there at Southern Raceway, I've seen plenty of videos. They have a red, sandy top dirt in it, and I'm sure that's pretty difficult to keep it right all the time. It probably slicks up and gets black really easy. A lot of East Texas tracks are like that. Yeah. It'll change it changed like a light switch sometimes. Yeah.
I remember what I was going to ask you.
It does. It goes dry slick super quick in the summertime.
What are your pits? What are your pits? Are your pits asphalt, dirt, gravel, what?
They're clay, and we're in Florida, so they got some sandiness on the top of them, but it's just a hard surface. We've had up to, but the haulers are getting bigger. About 7-8 years ago, we had 151 cars one night. Was able to get them all in the pits. But nowadays it seems like 125 you're packed. Yeah. We've had a couple of bigger events.
Everybody's got the biggest truck.
We've had to park them outside with some of the bigger events we've had. This year we had the Clash on the Coast, a big IMCA deal. Peyton Freeman we did. Not Peyton Freeman Taylor. I'm sorry, Peyton Taylor. Yeah. He promotes that between me and another track, and it's a whole week long, and we have a good time with it. And we had so many of them the first night, we had to park some outside the pit. So that was a good thing.
That's a good problem. Yeah, it's a good problem.
So
yes, sir.
At RPM, we have plenty of pit space. The problem is that it's blackland. And so if it rains, heavy rains on Monday and Tuesday and into Wednesday, can't do it. Can't do it because everything will sink.
Yeah.
Well, we have 2 flat areas, and one sits lower than the other one. And the lower one we call the ghetto. And the reason is, if it rains, if you parked in the ghetto, it's muddy. Now the higher level is, more dry, and the seasoned drivers will hunt that ground, if it's wet, if it's been raining. But we call it the ghetto, and it's a reason for that.
In the ghetto.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's So you guys race every week, or do you take weekends off, or what's the deal?
We race every week through about mid-May. We miss a few weeks here and there, and then once we get in June, July, August, we go to about twice a month. The heat, the fans aren't as durable as they used to be.
No,
they're just not.
You trying to say they're soft, Tom?
Yeah, as a baby's bottom. No, it was just too hot. I didn't come. or you don't have it on video. Who's doing pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Those questions.
The hardcore racers, the hardcore fans are not like they used to be.
No, there's not as many of the hardcores. We're blessed. We're in a good area where there's a lot of there's 3 racetracks less than 1 hour from me. There's a lot of places you have to drive 2 hours to go to another racetrack.
Yeah.
Well, we got right here underneath me is Deep South Speedway between Pensacola and Mobile.
Yep.
Tri-County, who's Flomaton, who's about 50 minutes north of me, and Northwest Florida is in the next county over from me, in the northern part of the county, about 50 minutes from the track. So there's a lot of us. But this coming this weekend is Father's Day. 3 of us are racing. It's more comfortable when 2 are racing, but there's 3 of us.
Y'all try to work together.
We do for the most part, but it's hard when you got 3 tracks running.
Yeah.
And not to point one out, not to point one out over the other, but there's one other tracks that just doesn't want to work with any of the other 3. But we still talk or try to stay communicate reasonably anyway.
Look, I like what you're saying here because I already told you I'm trying to make a move to Gulf Breeze, Florida. So knowing that there's that many tracks around, as a track race announcer, I'm like, hey, what's happening?
Then you got Mobile International Speedway and Five Flags Speedway.
Five Flags in Pensacola,
Yes, sir. That's a legendary track. Tim does a fantastic job with that place too.
Man, see, I'm all about it. As a professional radio guy and award-winning radio show host, I bring a different flair to my announcing because it's like while I know how racing works and all the terminology, the way I announce races is much different than the people I've ever worked with in race announcing, and it's a lot of fun.
If my announcer is listening, hopefully you don't get pissed off at me. But if you come, we don't hire you for the night, and I'll let him take the night off. He'll be all right with it. We'll make him all right with it.
I'm actually going to be in Pensacola next week, but we leave that Saturday morning. So
I'm off next week. So.
Yeah, we're coming down.
And I was in Pensacola last week.
Yeah, he was in Pensacola last week. So we've done. He was remote last week. I'll be remote next to my brother's pool next week. We don't like to miss shows at all. We had to miss a show a couple weeks ago because we had storms so bad that rolled through here that poor Lance he had no power, no internet for 3 days.
Yeah.
And so
I appreciate you putting up with me because I know we tried a couple of times, and I'm finally glad to get on.
Man, I'm glad you came on too, Tom. I appreciate you. It looks like you're just sitting in the car. You must be at home. You haven't been moving in a minute.
I am. I got good reception. I don't want to go in and mess it up, so I'm good.
Tom, you do a little podcast. You got a little show too, don't you?
Turn 5 Live.
On Facebook, and it's funny because it used to hurt my feelings. I get done, I'll be like, that's 40 people. That's terrible. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
40 people may come and go. But before Saturday night's races, you'll go back and look at the numbers, and there'll be 2,100 to 2,800 on an average week. And on a big weekend where something's coming up, you'll see 5,000 people have clicked on that.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Now, the one thing, and you guys know this, but you be walking through somewhere, and they'll be, hey, Tom, how you doing? Good. How are you?
And you have no clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
Not
that happens to me in the stands. That happens to me in the stands. I have people like, oh, hey, Will. And I'm like, hey, you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, Tom, man. Look, I got your number, man. You're on my phone. So, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in the next probably 6-8 weeks for me personally that would facilitate that move. So, man, we'd look, I love racing, and Lance can tell you, man. I met Lance when I started broken into at Devil's Bowl Speedway, which is a legendary racetrack here, is where the World of Outlaws began, in Mesquite, Texas, and that's where I met Lance, and I was calling for 2 different racetracks. Had to take a couple of years off to go. I was actually a professional musician, used to travel around. That's how I know about Milton, Florida, and so I'm thinking about retiring or retiring my regular job and moving to Pensacola. And my brother's retired Navy. He's a Master Chief in the Navy, retired, lives down in Pensacola. And every time a house comes up for sale in this neighborhood, he's like, hey, look at this. So,
Yeah.
and now one is literally right across the street from him. So he's trying to get
that's
me
cool.
Well,
trying to
there
get me
are.
to Pensacola. So a lot of stuff, going on, but definitely, man, my wife and I would love to make a trip down there. And when you get to the fall, what weekends do you race in the fall?
The fall's tough. There again, you got to compete with football.
Yes, sir.
And in the South, and it may be the same thing in Texas, there's really only 2 seasons. And I know you think I'm fixing to say football and racing, but I'm not. It's hunting and racing. Because our racers, 70% of them hunt.
Yep.
Same
So
here.
when you start getting into hunting season, November, your car count falls off bad.
Yeah.
So
Everybody going, the deer season opens.
Yes, sir.
Everybody wants to go deer hunt.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
We want to do the same thing. That's all good. We do. That's why our show's on Wednesday. So
Yeah.
Thursday through the weekend, we can roll out.
Yeah.
We shine during the February, March, April time every year. That's when we have the best car counts, the most unique races, the different things that go on. And it's not that I planned it that way. It's just evolved that way over the years.
Now, I'm going to ask you one more question before we let you get inside. So I was hunting through race movies, right? So last week we did our top 5 race movies of all time. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions now. One, what are your top 5 race movies that you love all time? And have you ever seen this movie called Alabama Dirt? It's about a dirt track racer. And so I started watching.
Yes.
I got intrigued. It is like it's horrible. It's a horrible movie. It's a horrible movie. It's absolute trash. So I'm like, it's about dirt track racing, and then you don't even really see racing. It looks more like they're just making hot laps around the racetrack, and it looks like it was filmed at Tri-County, is what it looks like, though.
It was actually filmed at Deep South, a half-mile speedway. A lot of it.
But
they were they did a couple of tracks, but anyway, Deep South did a lot of the fill-in work, and they actually hired 6 guys to bring their car out there, and like you said, just ride around. It was kind of unusual. If the
racing.
I can introduce you to a couple of them.
The racing in the movie.
Right.
I'm like, that's not racing. They're just doing hot laps, and they look like they're going slow. I'm like, nah, bro, no. Like people who have never been to dirt track racing will be like, "Oh man, this movie might be great." It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like and then I had to go back. I'm like, "Who the hell's in this movie?" And then you realize Tracy Lawrence, the country singer, Tracy Lawrence is in that movie. And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, he did not look like Tracy Lawrence at all. Like he had no hair. He shaved his hair off and everything. I'm like, "What is happening right now, bro?" But it's a horrible movie. Horrible.
I'm an older guy. 6-Pack was just too cool a movie.
Yes, that's what I want to.
Number 1.
That's not my number one. That's not my number one, but it's his.
And I was a big NASCAR fan. You gotta love Days of Thunder.
Yep.
I mean, there's just there's no way around those. And now I'm gonna start grasping for 3 and 4. Those are just 2 that come to mind. I'm not a big movie fan, so I may not be.
How about the fastest chicken in the South?
Oh,
Stroke Race.
You gotta know that.
Yes, Burt Reynolds.
Stroke Race.
Yes.
Stroke Race.
Yeah. I love when Peyton Taylor did the chicken suit. Y'all catch that on Facebook? That was too cool.
I gotta go find it now.
Yeah.
And then you got fastest chicken in the South. And then what else?
And he's oh gosh, I'm trying to think. Help me here.
Talladega Nights. Ricky Bobby.
Yep. That was a good one.
What else do we have on our list? Last week.
Probably, let's see, 3 and 4. Yeah, I still think the first 2 I mentioned. I just 6-Pack was just. I just remembered it because
Kenny Rogers is great. Kenny Rogers is great.
Yeah. I don't remember who my 5th one was.
Man, I was like, what? I'm like, because I know that we did a whole list. Like everybody.
Yeah.
We did a whole list. Hold on. Now we're going to go back.
Some people pick Cars. That's a cartoon.
Oh, Cars. Yeah, Cars is up there.
That's a pretty cool dirt track movie.
It does, and it kind of gets. I watched it with my grandson. The third installment of it. Night.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, it's a racing movie. Yep. Not really dirt track, but it is a racing movie. It's a great movie.
Oh man, have you seen Gran Turismo? Gran Turismo is a race movie they made out of it. It's really, really good. Driven was the one I came up with off the air. That's the one with Sylvester Stallone and the blonde haired kid that was in Remember the Titans, where he's IndyCar racing. It's actually not a bad movie at all. I'm trying to look. Okay, you got man, there's so many up here that are popping up. Rush was Chris Hemsworth. That was the IndyCar. That was the IndyCar bit too.
Trading Paint. That has, but it wasn't that good.
It's not. It's up here, but it's not very good. Alabama Dirt, also not very good.
But
it's
Six
horrible.
Pack, number one.
Yes, Six Pack is number one.
For me.
But Stroke Race is right up there at number 2, man. That's such a funny one. How can we forget Herbie the Love Bug, man? Come on. Come on, you can't miss Herbie the Love Bug.
Right.
Or Cars.
Especially the old 60s version. I like both of them, but
Herbie, man. Herbie's a bad mofo, bro. And if you want to talk, if you want any kind of racing in there, man, Cool Runnings, bobsled racing is. I love that's one of my all-time favorite movies right there.
That was funny. That was a funny movie.
It's a good movie. John Candy was genius. In that movie. And then Brandon Leopoulos jumping in. Brandon Leopoulos jumping in. He says 6 Pack, Stroke Race, Dirt the movie. I've never seen Dirt the movie, so now I gotta go find Dirt the movie. And Talladega Nights. Who's missing?
You picked Cannonball Run.
Oh yes, Cannonball Run is also a race movie. Also with Burt Reynolds. Look, man, Burt Reynolds was awesome back in the 80s, bro. Smoking the Bandit. Smoking the Bandit considered. Hey, they're trying to race time.
That's a classic.
Bring that cold beer. I know I'll watch it. I will watch those like so many times a year. Those and man, I tell you, I watch Urban Cowboy. I'll probably watch that about 5-6 times a year, dude. That movie's so good. Like, I mean, they made great movies in the 80s. Like, some of them don't hold up. Let's be honest about it, right? Some of the movies from the 80s and early 90s don't hold up. But I hate it when they try to remake one that was really good. Like, hey, we're going to try to remake Forrest Gump. Don't you fucking dare. What is wrong? No. Hell no. Not just no, but hell no.
Hey, you guys hanging around racing, you've been on the promotion side of it. I hate to bring up a sore subject, but how many times have you heard, since you've been announcing and working around tracks, I'll never be back?
Oh my God. Weekly?
Yeah.
Weekly?
And my routine with those guys is when they come back, whether it's next week, 2 weeks, whenever they decide to come back, I go over, shake their hand, and I say, man, it's good to see you. And I just do it just to let them know that you remember you said you would never be back.
Come back.
Anybody that's watching probably get good mad at me.
Yeah, well, you know what? If they're one of those people that get so mad, and I will know that, I'd tell you this, I've been threatened as an announcer, dude. Like, no shit. I've been threatened. I'm like, dude, I'm just telling what's happening on the track. If you got pissy that I called out the fact that you keep spinning out on the track, that's my job. And if that pisses you off, how about stop driving like a dumbass? Yeah, dude. People get wild.
We all spin out when you first learn it. I did it myself, racing. You're going to spin out. But, yeah, go get practice. Rent the track. Get you a group of buddies, and all these tracks will be more glad to rent you the track on a weeknight or on a Sunday and get some laps. And that's the only way you're going to get better.
Yeah.
Well, it's wild to me though that these guys. I mean, I get it, dude. Any sport is a competition, and you get your freaking adrenaline's pumping, and you sometimes they don't know how to control that brain to mouth thing. You know what I mean? And they'll say just wild shit, and then they look like a dumbass because they roll up the very next week with their truck and trailer.
I'm guilty. That's the bad part. I told the very track I'm right now promoting. I told them about 12 years ago, I won't ever friggin' be back, but yeah. How did that go for you?
Now you can't leave.
Yeah. 5 flags. I raced there for years. I think twice I said I'd never be back, and there I was.
There you was. Yeah. All right, one more last question before we get you out.
Yeah.
Because earlier you brought up all the bigger haulers and everything like that. And I have my opinions, and Lance has his. Would you prefer drivers have the big, nice, enclosed hauler trailer or an open trailer where the kids can see the car on the trailer?
I'm split on that. On regular weekly racing, guys that race weekly, open trailers. 100% open trailers. I know it's nice to pull up at the house, everything's locked up, not gonna get wet or stolen. But on the big shows, the big haulers is part of the ambiance of the big shows.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I agree.
Sprint car guys come, the super late models come. That's what you like to see.
Yeah.
But so I'm split on it. I think both ways. I know that's a chicken shit answer, but that's
no, it's a good answer. No, it's a good answer. You're right.
It makes sense because it makes sense. Like I'm a big fan. You know, I remember as a kid because I grew up in Mesquite, right? So the racetrack's been there my whole life, and I always remember like being in the car with my parents, man, just look over and there's this truck and this freaking badass race car and a trailer, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Wonder where they're going, you know. And of course, I grew up going to the Devil's Bowl as a kid, and you know, I grew up in Dallas. So if we weren't at the Devil's Bowl, we were at the Sportatorium watching the Von Erichs do their thing. You know what I mean? So the 80s were awesome in Dallas, Fort Worth. You know, the 80s were awesome. So Tom, man, we appreciate you so much for taking the time to jump on. I know I said 20 minutes, but man, we've been able to talk about all kinds of cool stuff, and we appreciate you taking the time to jump on with us. And man, maybe we'll jump on a little later this fall, and you tell us how everything's going.
You get down here, I'll bring you on turn 5. You can sit with me at the house.
Let's go. Okay,
let's go.
Do you live in Milton?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So what nights do you do turn 5 live?
Thursday night, 8:00. A lot of times I do it right by myself. I come sliding in from the racetrack and choke down something to eat, and me and my wife will do it. And she does me with the iPod, and we just make it happen. You know.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you know what? Look, I'll be out there next week. Let's see how everything goes because I'm on vacation.
Well, I only do it on weeks I'm racing. I don't do it on.
No race next weekend. So look, I can be on vacation.
Yeah.
I say be on vacation. I still have to get up and work till at least.
It sounds like you need to stay 2 weeks for vacation.
Dude, look, I want to spend forever on vacation. I'm going to not be lying about it. Let's do that. But Tom, we appreciate it so much, man. And man, good luck this weekend. And I hope you guys have a packed track and a good house and some great racing going down over at Southern Raceway.
If I can get the weatherman to forecast 88 degrees, it would help tremendously.
Yes, it would. Tell that. Hey, lie about it. Just put on your Facebook. Hey, guys, look, it's going to be 88 degrees this weekend.
I do go on, and I will put the nighttime temperatures up there, trying to help sometimes.
Yeah, we've done that. I've done that myself. I've done that myself. So, Tom, we appreciate you, Bubba. Have a good evening. Go on and get some dinner, and we appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
You got it, buddy. Appreciate it.
Sir. Bye.
You got it. Man, it was fun. It was a good time right there, Tom.
Cool.
We're going to take a break. We're going to go a little longer tonight because, he was on for a good 40 minutes. So
that's cool.
We're going to take a break. And we come back, we'll talk about all the race action we got going on this weekend and where you can find it if you can't make it out to the racetrack. And then we'll get out of here on a Wednesday night. Hang tight. We're going to take a little break from East Texas Towers and race on. And we're back, man. It was a good time. So, for those of you who didn't notice, that there's no cold beers tonight. It's hot, and clearly, my dude Lance is in the shop, and it's probably super hot in the shop. So he's out there drinking cold water. I went old school. Look, it's almost empty. I went old school tonight, like straight 80s, poor white trash kid, and I've been drinking cherry Kool-Aid.
I have to get dehydrated. It's supposed to be 96 degrees on Saturday, so hydration starts days before.
You know what I love about it? It'll be 60 degrees in the booth.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
It'll be 60 degrees in the announce booth, sir. Won't bother me a bit. Promise. Hang out. Let's do it. Come on. Come on, Cletus. Yeah. Come on. Hold on. Let's get this on. Here we go. Boom. Let's share this out right here. This is this race weekend. If you're in the Boot Hill area,
man, it's gonna
they got 3 nights. 3 nights of fun going on there. It's the West Grigsby Memorial going down at Boot Hill. They got time trials tomorrow to get qualified for the weekend of racing. And then, of course, on Friday night, they'll be racing as well as Saturday night. That's the West Grigsby Memorial.
It's a great race. They do a lot of promotion, and the Grigsby family is a great family. Man, it's going to be a big race. It's going to pay a lot of money for the limited modifieds. I think $6,900.
Cool.
It's going to be a big deal.
You said 69.
Yeah, 69. I think it's 69.69 is what it pays.
That's freaking hilarious. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Right.
And then if you're down to Magnolia, in the Magnolia Motor Speedway, they got Clash at the Mag. The Comp Cam Super Dirt Series will be down at Magnolia Motor Speedway, and that's going to go down on Friday. I don't think it's Friday and Saturday. Let me double check. Yes, Friday and Saturday at Magnolia Motor Speedway. So 2 nights of racing over there. Heart of Texas Speedway, they race on Friday nights. They got their Outlaw Modifieds and Lance.
Outlaw Modified Series. Yep.
That's the Toms. I think you just put Toms. Series. It's a Tom series. It's Texas Outlaw Modified Series, man. Just put Tom.
Yep. It's going to be a great race.
Toms are always good.
Yep. They do a great job. Keith and all them guys do a great job promoting that, and it's been around for a few years, and they're keeping the Outlaw Modifieds going good, and they always have a strong car count. I mean,
man, one of my favorites. One of my favorites, quit racing.
Yeah, for sure.
I missed the 3C of Charlie Smith.
Yep. Went to high school with him. Grew up with him. He's a good friend of mine. That was a sad deal, and I know they were having a benefit race at Hunt County, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, and they got canceled because of rain.
Rain.
Yeah, so they're going to try to make that up. Yep.
So, and of course at RPM, that's where Lance and I will be. Hey, Lance, I just had an idea about Saturday. What? I'm going to be there early. What time do you plan on getting there?
Probably 5:30.
All right. So your car's ready to race, right? All you got to do is get off the trailer.
That's it. That's how I show up. That's how, if it ain't ready to load up, I'm not going.
Okay. Well, try to get there a little earlier than you normally would. And then come up to the booth and we'll go live. We'll go live in the booth. I got two headsets and everything. We'll do a live impromptu Saturday live show live from RPM Speedway, and I'll take the webcam and all that other good stuff. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
And then we'll be out there. The ASCS Elite Non-Wing Sprint Cars. It's the 10th annual Johnny Suggs Classic at RPM Speedway. So that'll be a good time. That's where Lance and I will be Saturday. Over at Super B Speedway, they got the mechanic races. What the hell's a mechanic race, man?
So, like me, I'll have somebody come and help me or pit help, whatever. They will get in a car and race. It's the mechanic, the helpers, the pit crew, essentially.
That's awesome.
So you don't have to have any experience. You don't have to have anything. You can put whoever you want to in your car, and it's a mechanics race. Somebody that's never really raced that helps you work on your car. It's pretty cool.
And then look at that I-37 Speedway. They got the South Texas IMCA Modified Series. They got them in town this weekend. I told you, everybody has a specialty race going on this weekend. Everybody. Down at South Texas Race Ranch, there in Corpus Christi, they have the Larry Roberts Memorial. They got that going on. I don't know a lot about that one. I mean, I guess we could probably just copy and paste and Google it, the Larry Roberts Memorial.
Yeah. I was trying to get Stephen Whitaker Jr. on the show tonight. Had a little conflict in scheduling, so hopefully have him on in the future. I know he lives down in that area, and he's a great promoter. So,
man, we did a softball. So we went to because I call softball for Roy City High School.
Yeah,
Go Bulldogs, and they did tournaments down in Corpus Christi this year, and we went down there. The entire city of Corpus Christi is under construction. What the hell? Like every fucking highway is under construction.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going there next Thursday. I have work conference Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And
no. Where are you staying?
at the Omni.
So we stayed at the DoubleTree that literally is right next to the battleship or the aircraft carrier.
Yep,
We literally, you can see it outside our window, and I'm like, oh darn, we have to go call softball and stay 3 nights on the beach in the DoubleTree. Oh darn. So we did all that. So that was a good time. We already talked about Clyde. Heck, my mouse. There it is. There's my mouse. And then let's see what else we got here. We got the IMCA Race Saver Sprints down at 105 Speedway. KSP got their 305 sprints as well. And of course, the Grigsby is a 3-day event, so they'll be racing Saturday. And then they got the dwarf cars out at Grayson County Speedway this Saturday night. Explain the dwarf cars.
I'm not real familiar with them. They're a full body car. They're a small car. They usually run like a 600 or a 900 cc Japanese motorcycle engine in them. They get down. They're fast, but they're a little bitty. They're cool.
So it's like, what is the A-Class 600? What do those micros run? Same kind of deal?
Same Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha. They'll run a 600 cc's, and the dwarf cars are kind of the same engine. Yeah.
I tell you what, man, when they're getting around the track, I think they are louder than any other race car. Like, they're the smallest thing on the track, and they are so freaking loud.
So loud. Yeah, just like a street bike. It's the same engine. They take it out of a street bike and put it in one of those cars.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Yeah, come on, we'll do that Saturday, guys. So make sure that you tune in. Lance will get there a little early, and we'll do an impromptu 30-minute show about what's going on at the racetrack. We'll talk about race conditions, and it'll be good times, man. It'll be good times. I mean, we're going to be in the same place at the same time. What?
It's gonna be fun.
And on one camera, and I just make sure that everybody knows that you're just up there to cool off in the air conditioning.
Yeah. So,
all right, my brother. Well, everybody, thank y'all so much for tuning in, joining in, and listening in. We appreciate everybody who goes and watches it after the fact. So that's always good. Streams help. So if you like what you see or hear, man, share our show. Share the Dirt Talk Nation, guys. We appreciate you so much. And guys, we'll be back with you. Again, we're going to come on live on Saturday, probably, I'm going to say 5:45.
Sounds
5:45, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
6 o'clock sound better? Do 6 to 6:30?
Yeah, that works.
6 to 6:30. And then if things are running behind, well, maybe a little longer, but
I can't miss the driver's meeting. Okay.
I know. Don't do that. I mean, they're going to tell you the same shit you've heard your entire race life.
I know, but you'll get in trouble if you miss it.
Yeah, don't miss it. Don't miss it. So maybe we'll get Martin to jump in there and talk to us.
Maybe.
I think he only comes in the booth really when it's time to start racing. Like, he don't really come up anymore. Maybe we'll get Steven.
Yeah.
We'll get Steven to come on. Yeah. We'll get him to do it and come on with us and be good times. All right, man. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We are freaking out of here. We'll be back with you guys next week right here in the Dirt Talk Nation.
She was there from